Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to do something a little bit different today. Cyberpunk has arrived, so we're going to do a quick first look, review kind of thing, and give it our first thoughts. But before we do that, we're going to do a quick catch-up on things that have been going on in the channel and some shenanigans from this week. So let's get into this. Now for those of you that just want to hear my thoughts on Cyberpunk, I will put a timestamp down below. Click on that, you can skip all of my channel chat that we're about to do. For everyone else, thanks for sticking around. Let's do a quick catch up. So first of all, apologies. Apologies for the lack of videos this week. It's been a little bit of a crazy one. I've had chronic tooth pain, but it has not all been bad. One, I have not suddenly got horrendously bored of Shadowlands and I'm off doing other things. To be honest, I'm actually still very much enjoying Shadowlands, and we have plenty planned between now and Christmas and rolling into the new year. The main reason, bar my toothache that I still have, is that we have been dabbling in some hardware upgrades. We are actually rebuilding my PC, top to bottom, putting in new power supply, new RAM, also a certain new graphics card. Yeah, I've been waiting a while for this one, but finally my new 3090 graphics card has been put in, which is why I wanted to show it off with Cyberpunk. And hopefully what this will do is enable us to do the best possible quality of videos. It'll also help with the rendering, and to celebrate that, Cuddles will be streaming on Sunday. For any of you that are aware, Planet Zoo is a little bit temperamental in the fact that as soon as you hit sort of 6,000 guests, it falls over. We are hoping that the new Powerhouse 3090 will maybe, I don't know, push us up to maybe crazy numbers like 10,000 guests without completely, pooping the bed. But we shall see. Yeah, oh, Planet Zoo, how you doth frustrate me. But yeah, that'll be on Sunday. I'll put a little thing up on the channel so you guys can see that. Should be playing the new Aquatic DLC. It also means that we should be able to stream a little bit more sort of quality that we want to be able to do, because it's never been that great beforehand. So hopefully now it should be all bigger and shinier and all should be all as we would want. Last of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody. The last couple of months, to put it mildly, have been crazy for the channel. Views are up, subs are up, comments are up, everything's just up, everything is good. So a huge thank you to everybody that has subscribed, everybody that's been watching the videos, commenting and everything else. Without you guys, this doesn't happen, so yeah, an absolutely huge thank you. But now, let's talk some Cyberpunk. Now let's get this out of the way right up front, right at the beginning, very beginning. Cyberpunk 2077 will not make you reevaluate your life. You will not suddenly start crying, believing that all things have now changed within the cosmos. It is a standard RPG. All the things are done really well, but it's not going to suddenly change our perceptions of reality. Everything that it does, we have seen before. Now I know that sounds like I'm starting off on a downer, but probably the biggest thing against Cyberpunk is, well, let's be honest, Cyberpunk. It has been so hyped that nothing will live up to what people can be expecting. And that's a shame, because it's really good. Now yeah, of course there are glitches, mine's crashed several times, there are just things floating in the air or characters standing in weird angles where they obviously should be leaning against a bar or something. Yeah. That's not great. Is it Assassin's Creed Unity level of bad? No, I wouldn't say it's there. But you could tell why it's been delayed and why they obviously crunched as hard as they have to try and get this done. So in places, yeah, it is rough. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, that will be fixed in no time. But the thing to look at, sort of to skip over the glitches, is the foundation. The world that this game is built upon is incredible. It is a world that you can get lost in. That is, if I'm being honest, overwhelming at points. With a lot of things thrown at you, there are a ton of quests to do. There are a ton of side activities to do. There are quests where all of a sudden you're being offered vehicles of numerous prices. And that's all from the very first moment you kind of get past the tutorial and you set foot in the world. You might have, I don't know, 5,000, 8,000 eddies in the bank, but you're being offered cars at like 19,000. You're like, okay, well, how am I going to do that? You've got quests that say, oh, you need to repay your debts. You're like, well, how am I going to do that? And that's when you need to remember, you need to take a breath and this is 100% an RPG, and I will say that repeatedly in this video. This is not an action-adventure game. As much as it may seem that way, this is a living, breathing world. Take time to get accustomed to that world. And remember that this game, like all RPGs, has levels. There are areas of the city. You can go anywhere you want. You can explore from the very first moment, but you will get into trouble and it will hurt in certain areas. And that can kind of snap you back to, okay, this is my area, this is where I'm safe, and as I gain power, I can slowly expand out. It suddenly makes the game a little less overwhelming. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Let's go to what to many is the most important thing, and that is character customization. And it is a doozy. It is outstanding. I would almost go as far as to say it's probably the best that I've ever seen. Which makes you notice the little things, like limited character voices. I know that sounds crazy, but the voices are the same. You have a female, you have a male, and that's it. So if you want a Hispanic corpo agent, or you want an Asian Hayward City kid, but it doesn't matter, they're all going to sound the same.
Let's go.
Now I know that may seem a really small gripe, but that should tell you how much is available to change, how much customization there is for the characters, that a little thing like that actually bugs me. You can change the fingernails, you can change the genitals, you can change the teeth, and a load of other options that you wouldn't expect. On top of the normal favourites like hairstyles, beards, eyes, eye colour, skin colour, mouth, and so on. You have so many options, it really is a true playground. You can just sit in here and you can play and create the perfect avatar to enjoy Night City with. Now I will say on a side note here, the forced first person view, because a lot of people are saying what's the point of all of this if you're forced to always be first person. I actually don't have a problem with it. For me it works with regards to immersion into this world. And you still see your character a lot. If any of you have played Skyrim with the mod Joys of Perspective, you get to see your legs, you see your hands, and it's actually really weird when you've picked. So you'll see here in the background that my female character has these long fingernails and they're painted. That's all me. I picked the length of the fingernails, I picked the colouring. So to see that every now and again is actually really, really good. It's fantastic for the immersion. Now I understand that this is entirely personal choice. Some may like it, some may hate it. For me it works. Another big thing that was talked about is the life path. So this is the next thing you get to choose. It's the choice you make at the start of the game. Are you a nomad? You live out in the outside of Night City? Are you a corpo destined for the boardroom? Or are you a street kid just trying to survive in the rough world of Night City? And yes, as you progress in the game, they give you more options. If you're a corpo, you'll talk to corpo people, and that kind of, you know, that we understand the world of the corpo, yeah. Or if you're a street kid, we understand the world of the street, so I can talk to you in a way that, hey, don't bullshit me. I know that what you're saying ain't gonna happen. But I was hoping for a little bit more, that it would bring more to the table than it does. Because the impact overall, to me, seems very minimal so far. Now I will say, caveat, I have not completed the game yet. I am God knows how many hours in, and I'm level 10. Now granted, I understand that in other RPGs, let's say Divinity 2, you pick soldier or a thief background. Yeah, you may get some different stats, maybe an ability, but primarily what you're going to get is every now and again, oh, you were once a soldier. Yes, I was. I understand your pain. Okay, then have this item. Or something like that. But I was hoping that this would really shape the fabric of the core of the character. The best way I can describe it is think GTA. GTA, you have the three main characters. You have Trevor, Michael, Franklin. You can play them however you want. But their background as a character at the point where you meet them shapes a lot of what comes forward. It shapes the character. It comes through. Michael has family issues. Trevor has meth issues. It feels like with Cyberpunk, your life path, it means how you get into the game. Once you've passed the tutorial, that's it. Your life path is kind of done, bar a few speech options. And maybe that's what it's meant to be. That was your past life. Move on. Time has passed. Now you're seeing this city with fresh eyes. And that's fine if that's the way they've done it. Now, as I said before, my main character is currently level 10. I'm a Netrunner Corpo. And again, as I said before, I have not finished the story. I'm not even close yet. But I am loving the game so far. I would very much recommend it. To anyone that loves just getting lost in a world, being immersed. If you're going in thinking it's a GTA Online, and it's going to be a 10-minute blast, like let's just go blah, mad and crazy, you may get frustrated. This may not be for you. You may get bored. It takes time to get into. You need a couple of nice upgrades to start the flow. Combat is rough at the beginning, I'll be entirely honest. It doesn't feel like a smooth first-person shooter, and that's because this really isn't. This is far more, and I know I've said this repeatedly, far more traditional RPG over an FPS. If it was a film, think Blade Runner, not Starship Troopers. There is a lot of talking, a lot of exposition, a lot of exploring. Yes, of course there is action, but it's never out in front. It's always far behind the RPG elements, and that's fine for me. I like that. This is 100% the game I was looking for, and I love it. What truly gets me exciting is that next step. The thought of when their modders can come out and play and get their hands on this. Now, fingers crossed, the mod kit, I'm hoping it's going to be more like we had for like The Witcher 2. Because The Witcher 3 mod kit just wasn't quite as good. Still do some cool things, but it wasn't quite as good as the original one. But no matter what the modders eventually get their hands on, expect to see this game just truly come alive. We're going to get new vehicles, apartments, backgrounds, stories, weapons, just hacking skills that are crazy, so much potential. I can really see this being a crazy GTA, Watch Dogs, just Deus Ex, just madness being put in. Somebody, no doubt, is going to end up with mantis blades you can climb up a wall. That's going to be modded and added in. I can just see that happening. I'm interested, of course, in what we're going to get down the road. Speaking of GTA, everybody knows GTA Online, and I'm interested to see how they're going to make this RPG into a multiplayer version of itself. I could see the great potential that Night City is going to have as this huge playground for you and your friends. But, of course, that is a long way off. And I, for one, am more than happy to wait. There is, after all, still a city to burn. But that is enough for me. I am absolutely loving Cyberpunk. If you want a bit more of a slower paced, RPG focused, with a little splash of FPS in there, in this futuristic cyberpunk world, yeah, this is most definitely for you. If you like things like Deus Ex, Assassin's Creed, 100% this is for you. Thank you for watching, stay safe, have a great day, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.